What do you do when your career does not align with your personal values?
You are now tuned into the Selflessly Selfish podcast. I am your host, profoundly unforgettable, the resource you seek, master life coach Teresa Webb, here to encourage, motivate, edify, and inspire you to become the best version of yourself.
Let me tell you, you will not be the first and you will not be the last in search of answers. One thing you can be certain of, if it has been done, that means it can be done. You just have to find a way to make it your own. Find a way to make it align with your lifestyle, with your values, with the things that matters and mean the most to you. I can remember back when several years ago when I started with this one particular company. And the company had the potential for large earnings, let me put it that way. And I didn't understand at the time. It's almost like um, God was saying to me not to let it become about the money. And I wasn't really sure what that meant. But unfortunately, as time grew on and years passed within the company, I started to realize that there were other ways that things were being done in order to increase earnings. And for myself, that was not an option for me. That was not an option for me. I was there to do my job and do what was required of me. I was not willing to do anything that compromised my values, my character, or my integrity, say for monetary gain. That's for monetary gain. That's it. I was not willing to do that. And there's a lot of times in life when we desire to do certain things, or maybe even ask to do things, and you want to help. And sometimes it could be something that maybe in the beginning you were not aware of. And then other times you may be given full disclosure, and then you have a decision to make. Is this something that I want to do? Is this something that after it's done, how will I feel about myself? Is this something that after it's done, am I going to bring shame or reproach on my marriage, on my children, on my family? There are certain times in life where difficult decisions will have to be made. And we have to be ready. We just have to be ready to do that. I don't know if you've experienced anything like that, but put it down in the comments. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything where you had to make a decision that went against your values, integrity, or your character. I am so glad that you joined me today. Today's episode is going to be around how to maintain balance in your life. Now, the previous episode, if you haven't already watched it or listened on the other platforms, Apple or Spotify, was how to create or gain more balance in our lives. So after you've acknowledged the distractions or whatever it is that was causing the imbalance, now, our next step is how do we maintain that balance? How do we maintain the balance in our lives? Now, today, I'm going to tell you, I want to take my time with this one um, because I think that, including myself, we tend to miss a lot of key components when it comes to maintaining balance. And I believe balance also starts with a firm foundation, establishing a firm foundation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the things that aided me tremendously on the road to maintaining balance. And I'm going to tell you, that's not something that is just done and, okay, I have balance. No, that's something that we will be working on until we leave here. I'm hoping that what I share with you today, that you will gain some insight or greater value from, and it will be able to assist you on your journey as well. The first thing I want to discuss in maintaining balance, we talked about the foundation and having a firm foundation, and that we'll be working on this as long as we're here. And I believe what's going to set that is prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation. And first, we have to establish prayer being our conversation with our Lord, our Savior. Our conversation, whether we're thanking Him, whether we're making a petition, it does say, in prayer and supplication that we are to make our requests known unto God, right? So prayer, it's your conversation with God. And even in that, it still requires balance. So with prayer, and then there's meditation. And meditation is more so on the mindfulness of everything. Meditation is more so on the waiting and the listening. So after you've prayed to God, after you made your petition, after you've thanked Him and you've shown gratitude for all that you have, and you've made your requests for what it is that you'd like to see happen in your life, now it's time to listen for that direction. Listen for the instruction on what it is, the next steps that you will need to do in order to acquire, in order to bring those prayers, those requests, in order to bring them into fruition, in order to bring that into now. So, of course, yes, prayer is definitely important. We are to pray without ceasing. We're making our petition known. And then after that, we have to listen. So, listening is just as important. Listening for the final word, for the instruction. Because again, it's out of all you're getting. We need to get understanding. And how can we get that if we're not willing to listen? Or you can't ask a question and not wait for the answer or the response, right? So the first two are prayer and meditation. After you've prayed, after you've given thanks, after you made your petition, you made your request, now you're going to go into meditation. And that's the time allowed to sit in silence and listen for the instruction, listen for the direction and the path that you're needing to go and the path that you'll need to take. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what's your response into prayer and meditation as being the foundation of maintaining that balance. Now, this next one, it's a doozy. It's a doozy, and a lot of people don't like to tread this area, but yeah, it's important to me, and because I think in today's society, it's lacking in a lot of us, and it needs to be given more focus and made a priority as well, and that is discipline and self control. Now, self control and discipline, They have different focuses, okay? And if you see me looking down, that's because I have notes. I want to make sure that I give this to you the way it was given to me, okay? So just bear with me on that. Now, self control and discipline, they're related but have different focuses. Self control is more about your immediate reaction, whereas discipline is long term, right? It's long term habits. So self control is you know that you're going on a diet and you're deciding to, you've made the decision that you want to eat healthy. And self control is even though you know that you're attending this function and they're going to have all these different things there for you in front of you, you're going to need some self control when it comes to the things that are not aligned with the healthy eating habits that you're hoping to establish, right? Now, whereas discipline is on the long term results after time has passed and you're maintaining the self control, you know that also a part of the healthy eating habits, you're incorporating a workout regimen. And discipline is that you're going to wake up, in the morning, or if you're deciding in the afternoon, maybe after whatever hours you choose and whatever time you set for that workout, then you're going to discipline yourself. You're going to discipline your mindset to know that I'm going to work out, even if it's a brisk walk 30 minutes a day. If you're going to work on cardio, if you're going to work on strength training, whatever it is, yoga, cycling, whatever it is that you choose to do, you're going to set that time and the number of days, and you're going to ensure that you complete those tasks. If it's 3 days a week, 30 minutes a day, that's what you're going to do. Now, sometimes, hey, life happens and things unexpected will come up. However, you're going to find a way to, maybe if you missed your morning workout, you're going to switch it to noonday or afternoon. Or if you couldn't get it in on, that Monday, then you're definitely going to work out Tuesday or double it up so that you're not missing that time. You're disciplined enough that if you say 5 days a week I'm working out, maybe you want it Monday through Friday and you miss Tuesday. So now you got to go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days, 30 minutes. That's discipline. It's more on the long term. And normally, I don't like to get into certain uh, personal topics when it comes to, I guess, society. But we have to stay on top of what's going on in the world today. And personally, myself, I believe a lot of it has to do with the lack of self control and the lack of discipline. I believe that we can allow ourselves to I believe that we can allow ourselves to reach a certain status or a certain level in our lives to where we could possibly think that we're above the law, we're above the things that everyday people are held accountable for. And there's no discipline and there's no self control. And with that becomes an imbalance because there's no boundaries. It's anything goes with you. And I believe that's what we're seeing today, a lack of discipline and self control. Now, you have the worldly law, and then you have our biblical standards. Now, that's up to you because that's between you and God. And I'm going to leave that there. But I do believe a lot of what we're seeing today is due to a lack of discipline and self control. Self control allows you to resist things. Self control allows you to resist those things that are outside the boundaries of the law and biblical standards. Discipline allows you to remain aligned with your character, with your integrity, with the things that are within the law, that are within biblical standards. That's all I'm saying. We need to give discipline and self control more priority in our life. I'm going to say this too. A lot of times I find that we like to correlate self control with a lack of anger or non existence of anger. And self control goes beyond not being angry. As I mentioned earlier, self control could be something as resisting the sweets. Me, I'm a snacker. I'm a coach. Coach is a snacker. I love chips. I love snacks. However, I've come to know and understand in the time that I had to take off and reassess my life in order, as I begin to age, I had to make changes. There is no way that I can continue putting those things into my body. So not only did I have to become stronger in the area of self control, I had to be disciplined so that every day I knew that what it was that I desired to, in place of the chips. I want you to check out my, there's a previous episode I have too on there. I'm going to put it down below as well. And it talks about replacing the negative with the positive. So anything that was bad that I enjoyed snacking on, I had to replace it with something that was a more healthier choice. So I love chips. I love snacks. And what I decided to do was instead of that, in place of the chips, I chose maybe nuts because I don't know if it maybe was it the salty or the sweet, but they have the kettle corn, popcorn, which are great. Um, I love cashews. I don't know how you feel about almonds. Excuse me, almonds, cashews. I love pistachios, things like that. So I kind of incorporated those in place of the chips and chocolate. I have fruit. Sometimes some of the fruits that I desire or would like to have may be out of season, but I love mangoes. So I've incorporated mangoes. I've even uh, have a recipe for, I made mango ice cream. So it's like your natural fruit. So there was things that I needed to do because this meant a lot to me. So I'm just sharing that with you. Okay. Just to know that self control is more than just not being angry or allowing someone to get to you. Self control works in many areas. Self control, not overstepping boundaries and trying to control someone else, is self control. Our eating habits. Self control also goes along with it could be alcohol. Knowing your limits, overindulging, not just eating the wrong things, but overeating. Because I'm just going to say too much of anything, because you could be eating the right foods, but you don't want to gorge yourself. You still want to have a level of self control there as well. Okay. Now, self control, also known as temperance, and that is Galatians 5:22 23. Yes. So that's also a part of the fruit of the Spirit, temperance, known as self-control. So it's definitely something that we want to work on and give priority to. And I think I am going to have to do this now in a part 2. I thank you because I said I'm not going to go past that, but I thank you for joining me. Let me know down in the comments what you think in regards to the prayer and meditation, discipline and self-control, in regards to maintaining balance. And we're going to get to the next 4 in part 2. So I hope that you join me there. And also, if you haven't done so, let me remind you to check out the episode, How to Create More Balance in Your Life as well, because that also will help us first identifying what it is that we're focusing on that's causing the imbalance. And then once we identify that and eliminate that, then we can focus on maintaining it. How do we continue to move forward and live a balanced life? I thank you so much for joining me. And I want to remind you, if you haven't already done so, and if the content is resonating with you, to go ahead and subscribe and share. Share the podcast with someone you feel that could benefit from the information that's being provided here. I appreciate you again for your time today. Thank you for allowing me in your space once again.
If you've made it this far, thank you for watching and for allowing me in your space. If the video resonated with you or you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe. Click the bell so that you will be notified whenever new content is uploaded. Until next time, remember, all things are possible when you believe. So stay hopeful and take action.